Good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm David Sponheim, and this is Truth Tuesday. We are looking at Super Tuesday, a time when the American people gather in many states to decide who they want in the primaries in both the Republican and the Democratic Party. And that's exactly what I don't want to talk about tonight, because I really believe that the two parties are owned by elitists. They do not represent you. The American people struggling right now are reaching out to try to come up with answers in their own personal lives. And these two parties have become completely irrelevant. And as the American people are still looking for American jobs, we don't have them. Under nearly 8 years with Obama and the Democrats, no new ideas. Nothing like our Homestead Renewal Plan, which guarantees jobs right out of the chute. In 2017, people could earn $10 an hour fixing up houses. Improving homes that are in your neighborhood that are dilapidated, the government could buy them at a discount and flip that house. You make money. You might even want to be the owner of that house. And you might own that house in as little as 10 years with $500 a month payments. You'll be able to own your own home in my program, our program. And this will be a way to save a lot of the aging homes in this country and kind of spruce up our infrastructure. But you've got other problems, the Democrats and Republicans. They can't cut the budget. And Donald doesn't have any ideas, and Hillary doesn't have any ideas to cut the budget. I haven't heard any great ideas from them. Well, actually, I did hear a couple of great ideas from Trump. They're my ideas, 6 of them. He's used 6 of my ideas now to promote himself. Now, when he came into our room in 2012, I believe it was him, although I'd have to subpoena the servers at Ustream to get that information. But there was a clear indication from the chat that we recorded, and other people saw the chat, we put it live on the screen, we recorded on YouTube, that he was actually the real Donald Trump. Now, why he came in and just grabbed a few of my ideas and didn't listen to the whole story is probably why he's navigating through a pile of bad press, with the KKK and allegedly endorsing him and him not responding. It's put him in a very vulnerable position. When people are finding out the story about this guy, the real story, not the one that the mainstream media is putting out, but the real truth about him, that he actually was reading Hitler's speeches next to his bed. This came up in the Ivana Trump divorce hearings. He had a book by Hitler next to his bed. This is the story that the American people are being shielded from. Or his time with Jeffrey Epstein, the known pedophile billionaire who has a place called Orgy Island. Now, Donald Trump is in his black book. It's a fact. Now, why was he calling that guy when he's in a marriage with Melania? A lot of these issues are just not popping up in the mainstream media. So these are issues we're going to talk about tonight. The truth about not only Trump, but Hillary. The Benghazi. The story is so empty. There's no evidence. The 5 months of emails gone. Serious problems with Hillary's testimony because she was fogging what people were saying. She had a coughing fit. She was stammering for answers. And everything was right in front of her on a piece of paper. She was reading it. So yeah, there's a lot of questions about Benghazi still. Was she involved? Was she complicit? Was she tracking Chris Stevens prior to his death? Why didn't she get the necessary security to guarantee his survival and the survival of others? Why was a plane that was supposed to be there in Iraq at the time, on 9/11 of all things? Horrible mismanagement of the position of Secretary of State. It really makes one wonder, is she qualified to be president? What has she done? What has Trump done? Trump's got 4 corporate bankruptcies to his name. So Super Tuesday to me is more of Depression Tuesday. It's a wake-up call to the American people that we have no leaders. We've got a bunch of pumped up, elitist-controlled puppets running for president right now. Donald Trump must owe somebody for all those corporate bailouts he had. It is exactly what I predicted over a year ago. It's coming down to Hillary versus Trump. It's pretty obvious. It'd be a surprise right now to see Bernie come back from just winning Vermont. We've got the results somewhere here. Let me see if I can pull them up. Yeah, they're not here. I guess Sarah was looking at it earlier. A lot of things are happening, folks. We got contamination issues big time. We've got environmental crisis happening right in front of us. We've got young people that don't have enough money to go to college. don't know what they want to do. We had a young man in our show earlier, 25 years old, working in a crappy fast food job and not happy with his destiny. That's so true for so many people right now. And I've already promised to double the Pell Grants and make it available at 21 for anyone who wants to have an independent income from their parents. That would be a major shift from what the two parties are talking about. We're not tracking any of the write-in candidates' votes. When you reach a threshold of 25,000, they'll start tracking them. So I'm going to be contacting the states involved at the end of this election cycle and making sure that we didn't get people in America who are desperate for a change. And this third party actually has change written all over it. We have a very simple website you can go to. You can download our videos. Somebody said, how can I put your videos on television, or can you? I said, yeah, you can. We're going to get a little feedback. Hang on just a second. I've got the video playing right over there right now. This is our main poster to join the voter revolt. No other presidential candidate in the history of this country has done as much communication as I have with the viewers and the voters of this nation. Seriously. Trump has not even made any effort to question Hillary about Benghazi. No, he hasn't worked her over the coals. The kind of dialogue that he should be engaged in is exactly that, though. He doesn't do that. He's waiting for me to lead. I'm a little hesitant to actually question anything right now, because when somebody is taking my ideas and using them as his own, I'd only be giving him tips on how to defeat Hillary in the election. So it's going to take a little bit more than that to get that information out of me right now. We're getting ready for a general election where people who know how to spell can actually vote. Now, our write-in candidate is the only way we're going to stop this cheating that's going on with the Diebold voting system. Some of you have been watching Alex Jones, and you've been hearing about the stories of the Diebold voting systems being hackable. USB drives can be jacked up to them, and they can rig the votes. Well, the nice thing about the write-in campaign that I'm running is if we actually get over 25,000 write-in votes in any one state, they have to count all the ballots again, just like the hanging chads in Florida between Gore and Bush. Thank you. All right, so you go down to our platform right down here. It's just a few little buttons here. You can read about our platform. It's a very simple platform. I laid it out in no uncertain terms. So easy, it would take about, well, it's a lot of stuff. 5 minutes to read. And then we have a store where we sell our book, Hybrid Capitalism, which talks about generating new income, lowering regulations on small business, looping capital in our government so it runs properly. And we've got t-shirts, talk about legalization of marijuana. You can go to the t-shirt store and see a lot of other fun t-shirts you can get into. And this is our sign page, so you can actually get an official sign for your yard for about $20. And you can also go there and click on, I'm sure I will turn CNN on eventually, thank you. I don't want to violate any copyright laws about CNN or Fox right now. Here is our tote bags, and we've got bumper stickers too for only $4. Let me give you a link. You can get a 50-pack. One of our viewers got a 50-pack. But yeah, a $4 bumper sticker. Oh, here it is. Here's the 50-pack. It's $115. Well, let's be clear. Some of you are going to write in Barack Obama in the upcoming election, I'm sure, because you're so happy with him. You have no idea how bad he is as a president. Many of you Democrats, like Hillary, have never questioned anything about Barack Obama, so you don't know the mistakes he's made. Tote bags for the win, yeah. I've even seen some thongs in there. Some of you ladies want to get in some ATP thongs. Okay, there you go. $4 bumper sticker. What you're telling your friends, if you print out the main poster and right-click it and save it and send it to Office Max, you can do this for $1. You can make it 11 by 17 for $1.88 plus tax. So, I mean, this is something you could actually do. It's not out of your reach. All right. I'm not into making money. The Explorer reveals his inner makings there. You got to understand, I'm not materialistic at all. It's perhaps a point that you might find weak or wrong, that I'm not materialistic, I find it completely necessary. If I want to really sincerely run for president of the United States, I can't have the moneyed interests like Trump or Hillary. I can't be hooked up to corporate donors. I've got to be representing you, the American people. Not first and foremost, totally. I'm not going to work for corporations. I'm not going to work for cronies in our government. I am going to change this nation from the ground up by getting good people to work with me at the core of the White House, by screening people in certain agencies like the NSA that work with me, so that we make sure that they're lie detected and they are clear. We make sure that the people working close to the president are trustworthy. What we've got right now are it's almost an aberration, a caricature of a White House. You've got a stand-up puppet president standing there. Well, make no mistake about it. Takes his list of things he has to do like a good little poser puppet that he is, and he goes around and reads off a teleprompter. When asked in real time what to do, he stumbles. He can't respond. Yes, in fact, we've recognized in 2008, a question came in the room that somebody wanted to know, did I make a blackface video? Yes, and it's one of the reasons why we're here now talking about this country. Many of you wouldn't have even known that I'm out there running for president if I hadn't made a blackface video in 2008. And it was simply an impersonation of Barack Obama. There was nothing in any way slamming black people at all. It was designed simply to impersonate a very bad president who's done a very bad job. And I knew in advance that he would be a failure as a president. I already saw the handwriting on the wall. It wasn't a big deal for me to do this. But what shocked me is the Democrats. They saw this as a complete racist thing to do, even though many people had done blackface videos even recently. Yet they used it against me in the 2014 election, and they slammed me for this. Well, they didn't realize that this entire, it's a guerrilla marketing technique I used. Do something outlandish to keep my name in the media, because every single time we tried to send a press release to the media, they would shun us, they would never respond. We couldn't get any information out there. When we called up news stations in 2012 and we're in San Francisco at a big meeting of the Americans Elect group, couldn't get a single interview. So yeah, it's still working for me, and I have no apologies. We have a right to speak out in America, and I don't believe that anyone who's politically correct is serving America. You have to be a little bit more politically direct and use your freedom of speech if you want to save this country. So I'm out in the open talking about things. People say it was political suicide what I did. But I believe it was the only thing I could do, because I would have been shunned by this corrupt, politically correct group of cronies in Washington that are currently screwing our country over, left and right. So this has also made me a household word in Japan, and I want to thank all of the people from Japan. Arigato. It's so wonderful to have you here. I know that you're concerned about the environment just like we are here in America. And I have a plan to save the Pacific Ocean from endless radiation coming out of the Fukushima reactor. I'd like to talk to the TEPCO officials right now, but I can't. I would be actually violating the Logan Act if I called the Japanese government and tried to get Shinzo Abe on the phone right now. You can't do that if you're a U.S. citizen. Unless you have the approval of the U.S. president, you can't make these calls. So I need to be president, not only to fix the problem of the reactor that's leaking into the ground. There's 6 reactors. There's 4 of them in critical condition. Most of the reactor's spent fuel rods have drained into corium, which is a complete and unbelievable mix of plutonium, uranium, cesium. We need to get on this, and we should have done it 4 years ago. So your president, who stands there and poses every morning, probably in front of the mirror, we'll make no mistake about it, has wasted the past 7 years of his presidency literally giving you glad-handed responses. I'm not that kind of person. I'm a real person, and I will respond to the real chat right now. Okay, so Cruz has taken Texas and Oklahoma. Let's go to CNN, find out what's going on. I'm not ignoring Super Tuesday. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of a background on what we're doing and how difficult this big third party is to pull off. Now, talking about the two parties is something that makes me want to puke, to be honest. I'm David Sponheim, and I am building this third party, and if you don't like it, go watch the mainstream media and watch the same liars repeat the same pattern of promises and never deliver. Feel free. In fact, you can turn on any channel right now and watch this country continue to do nothing to solve the key problems. They won't allow a person like me into the debate. They won't allow a third-party candidate unless I pull 15% of the vote in any one state. So if I have enough write-in ballots coming in right now, I need 25,000 in any one of these Super Tuesday states. If I get over 25,000, they have to count those votes. I'm David Sponheim, and I'm not gay. You know, I get these people coming in here asking me if I'm gay all the time. It's kind of amazing. I think when people encounter somebody who's a good-looking guy, I guess people think I'm good-looking, they think that I'm gay, which I'm not. It's disturbing from my perspective because I consider that sexual harassment. But I expect that many people are going to continue this behavior of calling people names well into the future. But Donald has openly stated that he promises harsh media criticism of him will be illegal if he's president. This is a man that doesn't understand what freedom of speech is. I protect your right to call me anything you want. Check that link out. That'll blow your mind. Tell all your Trump supporters about this. He literally wants to make it impossible for anyone to question him. Hello, Oprah Winfrey. Wow. We've got Oprah Winfrey in the room, everybody. He says, hello, David. I'm Oprah Winfrey. Hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in, Oprah. Yeah, so I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are. I'll talk to you as if you're just an average American like me. I'm not going to, cater to elitists. I'm not going to cater to a person who's, constantly bothering me either. I get phone calls sometimes from people that I have to turn away because they think by the squeaky wheel gets the grease. No, sometimes you get shut off. So I have to be very, very careful about who gets in this little inner circle that I have developed here on the media. We don't want anyone denigrating our show or demoralizing our supporters. It's important to me that I keep that to a minimum because we are trying to build the unsinkable Molly Brown, if you will, in terms of parties. There's no way they're going to stop us because we can't stop and we won't stop. Look at this marine life, wildlife are dying from long-term chronic exposure to radionuclides. Contaminated water from Fukushima. This is a serious story. So we have to be on this and we have to be working on it. Thank you for that, Scissor Fight. And we can't stop because we won't stop. We have a song that we play on a nightly basis called Can't Stop. It was developed by Scissor Fight, and we'll be playing that a little bit later. Okay. I don't look a bit like Donald Trump, so I don't think it would be appropriate. Plus, I don't talk like him either. I have a certain cadence about me that is far more sincere, I believe. It is the best song ever. We'll play that in a little bit. I don't believe that it's appropriate for somebody like Donald to take ideas from our site and use them for his own. I think that's wrong. But in a way, I'm glad he did because he did uproot the Bush dynasty. So I want to thank Donald for taking my ideas and using it against Bush. All right, congratulations. And good luck as the race begins to allow a third party into this battle. It's going to open up the questions about Trump's past life, which is a pretty serious amount of questioning. Many of you don't realize that Trump has been a kind of a thorn in the side of many of his competitors, and he's using a technique which is extremely aggressive. Now, I happen to also use that technique personally. I'm a master at verbal combat. So if anyone was to be arguing with me in front of the American people, it would be a definite match between Donald Trump and myself on many issues. But it could turn into a shouting match, and that's the problem. Candy Rain is here? Really? I'd love to. Candy Rain is a original Sponheim girl, and in 2008 when we started this, Yeah, I would love to see if she is. Definitely want to talk to her. We haven't seen her online for a while. But when we first started this, Candy Rain got behind what we were doing on Blog TV and really supported me, sent this video to me, and it's kind of epic. It's an endorsement of my presidency back in 2008, and she became my Sponheim girl because at the time the Obama girl was popular, and she's no longer. Obama girl's actually renounced her entire affiliation with the Obama campaign. She doesn't trust any parties now. She doesn't believe in the party system, and I don't blame her. But here's Candy Rain as the Sponheim girl.
Hi, I'm Candy Rain. Are you a voter? And are the two choices running for president right now not appealing to you in any way whatsoever? Then you are in luck. America, we now have a third party choice. David John Sponheim. Please visit www.AmericasThirdParty.com. And when that time comes for you to vote, write in David John Sponheim for president. Our future. You will not be disappointed.
I'm David John Sponheim, and I endorse this message.
All right, so I want everyone to know that this is the kind of grassroots campaign that's been going on for a long time. Nobody has done as much broadcasting as Sarah and I. Mostly me, because I've been keeping this ball going. But the role of the communicator has been a big part of what I wanted to do from the very beginning. We all knew Ronald Reagan as the great communicator. Well, I hope to be the most transparent president in the history of our country. I want to have a chat room in the White House. I want to communicate with the American people nightly. And I want to make sure that you can chat and poll on issues. You guys will be polled on issues in live chat, and we'll do this. We'll make this the most interactive, transparent presidency you've ever expected. I expected that from Barack Obama, but he wouldn't even release the guest list in a timely manner. Two groups had to sue Barack Obama for the guest list to the White House. Citizens for Responsibility, Ethics in Washington, and Judicial Review. They both had to sue just to get that guest list. Okay, so this is something that won't happen in my presidency, okay? You guys will never be punished in any way for saying bad things about me. I would never, ever charge anybody with a crime. You could call me every name in the book, and I wouldn't take that away from you. The American people should be able to speak out on every single issue and criticize their president. It's considered part of the territory of running for president to take this kind of criticism. I accept that. And I take full responsibility for the role of the presidency when I become president. I'm not going to shirk from it and pretend like I'm, well, my speechwriters, they got that wrong. I'll respond in real time, too, as opposed to 45 days later, like Barack Obama did when the oil spill occurred in Mexico, Gulf of Mexico. Took him 45 days. He said he was playing corporate politics. Nice. I could have responded within 2 minutes. Pulling earlobe is a Masonic gesture? Excuse me. But I had an itch. What do I do when I have an itch? No, I'm not gay. CDC warns of healthy food outbreaks, sprouts, salads, organic shakes, and meals. Cucumbers. Sorry to say. I have to laugh at this one. There's healthy food outbreaks. That's right. E. coli, salmonella, all these things allegedly are appearing in healthy food. Did it ever occur to you that, think about it. If they don't want us to eat right, and they want to feed us GMO products, and by the way, I'm the only candidate out there against GMOs. I want everyone to know that. I don't trust the CDC at this point. It's one of the agencies I want to get rid of. I want to eliminate the CDC as we know it and go back to the Poison Control Center hotline that we used to have. If you have a poison control issue, you can't even call anybody except a local person in your Department of Health. All right. So looking at all these healthy food items, it makes you not want to eat healthy foods, right? Oh God, you don't want to get healthy. So if they really are trying to kill us off with GMOs in our diet, which is a good, strong, truth-based statement, the fact that the guy did a study on, no, I don't know who those people are. The guy that did the study on 50 laboratory animals, rats that were studied, the ones that were eating GMOs got tumors. The ones that didn't have GMOs didn't get tumors. And that study is going to be revealed again in another Toxicology Review magazine. He just won the Paris court case, international court case against Monsanto. No, I'm not a communist. I'm a centrist, and there's no way you're going to accuse me of slander, because I haven't slandered anybody. I actually bring up the facts. The fact that Donald Trump read Adolf Hitler's speeches, according to his wife, Ivana, in the divorce hearing, that is a significant thing to be concerned about. Many of you Trump supporters have to understand, anybody who wants to make it illegal to question him or to criticize him, that's exactly what Hitler would have done. So we really are at the verge of trying to avoid a fascist president like Donald Trump would be, or a communistic president like Hillary would be, a Marxist president. She appears to be a Marxist. She appears to believe the rights of the individual are second to the collective. And I believe the opposite. I believe the rights of the individual are paramount. Paramount. No, there's no paranoia here. Everything's good. What is Tanger Roja? I don't even know what that means. Okay, here's the total from the CNN outpost here. Clinton has 6 wins, Trump has 5, Sanders has 1, and Cruz has 1. That's your Super Tuesday roundup. No, I did not purge you for questioning me. I only purge people that demoralize us. You're trying to pass judgment. You need to talk about the issues. I'm not purging anybody else here. Yeah, directly trying to insult us is not going to be very beneficial for you in the show. So yeah, Trump trails Clinton, Sanders in the national poll. Well, this is how it's going to be all the way down the road. I predict Clinton, of course, will win the nomination. I predict Trump will win the nomination. Does anybody differ with me? I mean, it's pretty safe to say they're in the lead. And the country is so constipated politically. It's almost like, well, we got to have a bowel movement, so we're going to have a bowel movement. You know, so Trump will, of course, win the Republican nomination, and Clinton will, of course, win the... The reason why I say that is because the two parties are completely controlled. Everything you see is absolutely under the control of very powerful elitists. Your vote, even that, is in their hands of them, because you still believe in the two-party system. The only way that you're going to lose, they're going to lose their control over you, is if you write my name in the upcoming election. That's the only way. Or write somebody's name in. The only way you're going to get any control is to actually step out of the two-party system. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to rest my voice a little bit. Sarah's going to be in a little while and share her ideas. Excuse me. Last night I overdid my voice, and I'm trying not to do it tonight. I normally don't have a problem, but I had a cold recently. And you know how it kind of settles back in the chest as it disappears? Are viruses being mutated? The answer is yes. That's one of the reasons we want to get rid of the CDC. The vaccinations that are being forced on young people and kids today should be illegal. As president, I will stop forced vaccinations. You'll be able to get them voluntarily, but you won't have to force anyone. The state of Maryland recently put police outside of a vaccination center and claiming they were going to arrest parents that didn't vaccinate their children. Unbelievable. California, similar law, forced vaccinations. People like Jim Carrey, he said he's leaving California. He couldn't believe how he called Jerry Brown a dictator because of this ruling. Vaccinations are not a proven science. They're an ancient science. They date back to Louis Pasteur. Yes, they have worked, but they're not proven to work in every case. In fact, quite the opposite. Most vaccines do not work. Thank you. Okay, you won't get arrested for publicly boozing or urinating in Manhattan anymore. 585, I rely on you to promote us around the internet. If many of you don't know, we are AmericasThirdParty.com. And I urge you to just get the link out there. This whole effort is being built from a grassroots word-of-mouth campaign. We're being censored in the media. I tried to explain that to you. This is the only way we're going to get our word out. Otherwise, basically, we're dead in the water here. And frankly, I'm not personally invested in the outcome of this. I want to win. I want to save the nation. But there's no way I can save the nation when you don't even care about your own future. It comes down to guess 585 figuring this out, folks. I am a special person. You're a special person, too. We're all special. Well, here it is. You won't get arrested for public boozing or urinating in Manhattan anymore. Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. I wonder if he's the son of Cyrus Vance. I bet he is. The famous Cyrus Vance. Go ahead and pop the champagne. Yeah. Boy, people are going to be urinating on the streets of Manhattan. That's scary. Let's give our do-nothing Congress $7.25 an hour with no benefits, paid sick leave or overtime, and watch how fast things change. I love that. Thank you. That's a great link, Scissor Fight. Yeah, I mean, if we only got government to trim their salaries and make these more, state officials could be working for free. It could be a volunteer job. We've got all these ways people are getting money, and then they use their position to get more money for re-election. They siphon it into their campaign funds. We've got a bunch of prostitutes, not congressmen and women. We've got prostitutes that are literally just doing it for the cash and the power, which is really unfortunate. You love the suit and tie? That's good. House's shoes. Cool. Well, great. Let's talk about what America's Third Party offers you that the other party doesn't. The other two parties don't want term limits. We want term limits. We want to set it so that Congress doesn't have a regenerating machine where incumbents get reelected every single cycle. 2 terms for senators and 4 terms for House of Representatives. Thank you. So that's something we're in favor of. You won't get Hillary or Trump to legalize marijuana. I will be the legalizing marijuana guy. It's the first thing I will do. And it won't be just medical marijuana. Some people are very interested in seeing medical marijuana is kind of a stopgap. It creates, you have to have pharmacy, prescriptions, blah, blah, blah. What I want to see is recreational marijuana for everybody and make it so that your kids could eventually, become farmers in their own backyard so that it wouldn't be prosecuted. The DEA is going to save $26 billion a year in not having to interdict and do marijuana retrieval operations where they seize crops and all kinds of ridiculous things. That's going to save us a lot of money. All right. Yeah. Here's something. A guy just stood out in a corner and if you see something, speed trap ahead, say something. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I've been driving along in my area, and I don't know if this is true in your area, but if people go past a cop sitting there with those little speed guns, we won't need a lot of those either when I'm president. I'm going to reduce the size of the police state we have. A lot of those cops who are currently sitting there with quotas and their speed guns will be put on either duty on the street, like beat cops where they actually are integrated into the neighborhood, or they'll be made detectives because we need more detectives and less street cops. All right, so what people do in our area is they flash their lights when they see somebody in waiting. If you ever see somebody flashing their lights at you, it's probably there's a cop up ahead with their speed gun. So just so you know that. Yeah. Fly your lights. See, everybody knows that. There you go. FJJ18 says the same thing I do. Flash your lights. Correcto mundo. Yeah. Well, I really don't think Speedos would be good for me right now. I haven't been in Speedos since I was 17. Yeah, I weighed about 160 pounds when I was 17. I was working out I was in the crew at UCLA. I was on the crew team. And I was working out every day, so it's kind of hard to imagine getting back into Speedos. You have side-mounted lasers to take out the radar cops, really? How do those work? Is that a product you can buy? It zaps them when they come at you? Bernie Sanders doesn't pay me a penny. I'm actually against a lot of his socialist policies. I look sick? Really? Okay. What would sick look like to... I don't think I look sick. I have been attacking the socialist Bernie Sanders some time now. I consider Hillary more dangerous. Bernie doesn't have the will to exercise a democratically socialist policy. Hillary does. Hillary will do whatever her minions tell her to do. Too much makeup? There's no makeup here at all. Better go see a doctor. Wow. You guys, you don't even know what sick looks like, do you? I don't need mental help, that's for sure. I'm so happy and content, I can't even imagine being more happy and content. Yeah, happy and contentness is hard to achieve in this world. I've already achieved it. Pretty nice. Hi there. Hi there. Yeah, so that you can get these lasers that can hit the radar, huh? Okay, so you are basically getting behind a write-in campaign, or you want to get me on the ballot in your state. You simply contact your Secretary of State and ask her to get a petition to get somebody on the ballot. We are America's Third Party, AmericasThirdParty.com. All right. .com. No, I don't know if I'm going to do a cooking show. I'm trying to cut back on calories. Every time I do a cooking show, I have to eat it. I'm not sure if Thursday will be a cooking show or not. Yeah, many of you are too lazy to spell my name. I understand. Time Pilot, nobody's worried about me here, and I look great. I can't look any better than I already look, so you've been banned. Yeah, sorry. Well, I had to go to Seattle to do a convention with Sarah. I eat 3 meals a day, yeah. I'm in good shape. I don't think I look sick at all. Maybe you think I need a tan or something. That's just lighting. Let me take care of that for you. I do about 2,000 calories a day. Is that better? More yellowish. You like this better? Trump is basically controlled by the two parties. He's just being put in there to push votes to Hillary. Oh, don't ban people? Really? Okay, so tell you what I'll do. I'll unban all. Is that better? But then there's one person I have to definitely ban. Gemoment 101. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want him to think that he can call me sick when I look great. All right. We banned Gemoment 101. I know. I let them in because I feel it's their choice. I personally like the more natural skin tones, like in this pink area, right here. Well, I've been doing this show for 7 years, 7,000 plus hours, nonstop communicating on the issues in real time. Believe me, Sarah and I have an equal relationship. We both have equal rights. She doesn't lord over me, I don't lord over her. It's a very evolved relationship. We consider ourselves kind of a hybrid Amish kind of couple. Even though we're not married, we tend to have conservative values, traditional values about romance. I'm monogamous, she's monogamous. Together we're monogamous. I don't seek threesomes, she doesn't seek threesomes. Well, I should hope so. She's a woman. Women are supposed to be prettier than men. Yeah, Marla's trying to say some nice things. That's nice of you. Nope, not a submissive man. People who know me real well know that I'm pretty aggressive, and I don't hesitate to fight for my rights and the rights of others. Obama's giving a eulogy for a KKK wizard. That's why he skipped SCOTUS funeral. Wow. No kidding. Robert Byrd and a eulogy trumped the SCOTUS funeral. Wow. Veneerheim. Ooh, that's the best one you've come up with yet. Well, make no mistake about it. I think that Justice Scalia was murdered. But I can't tell it to the American people. Okay. Obama giving a eulogy for KKK Grand Wizard Robert Byrd. We were wondering where he was. Any other questions? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of truth, shall we? No, Scalia didn't even have an autopsy. We wouldn't know what kind of shape he was in. He could have had a bullet to the back of the head. He was at an organization that actually were comprised of shooters. There were 35 guys that he was hanging around with. That's why he descended on Poindexter's ranch, the Cibola Creek Ranch, where he ended up dying. And we don't know for sure that he was alive the previous evening. So a lot of questions, no videotape, no surveillance, not even a protective detail to question, and no investigation. All of that points to cover-up. The telltale sign of a lie is cover-up. And if you want to follow the corruption, just follow the money. And I want to remind you, another rule of thumb when seeking the truth, the devil is in the details. So you want to look up specifics when you find things out. And I have vetted this story, and it's basically a disaster. Numerous detectives across the nation have actually come out saying this is ridiculous. There should have been an autopsy at the very least. No, you can't just argue that he was an old guy who was fat. You just can't argue that without an autopsy, without an investigation. There's a telltale sign of a cover-up. And as president, I would exhume his body. I would order an exhumation of his body, and we would look for any type of an entrance wound. This should have been done, and the fact that it hasn't been done shows you emphatically that our government is completely corrupt in this matter. Scalia was an important justice, a very strong, even though I didn't agree with him on a lot of issues, a very strong conservative, and he had every right to have a fair and open disclosure on his death. But he didn't even get justice. So in a country that has a Supreme Court justice die, they didn't even get justice. This is an atrocity. And there's no way I can sit back and ignore that truth. Now, Japan is trying something different. They're actually introducing negative interest rates to stimulate the markets, and how their government has responded is to introduce this concept of negative interest rates. Well, for the first time, the government issues benchmark 10-year bonds with negative yields. Yeah, so that's a new step in what appears to be a last-ditch effort to stimulate the economies of the big nations. This previous method of low interest rates have failed, so now they're introducing negative interest rates. Crazy. They're giving money away to people and then giving them more money to hold on to that money. So there's no interest charge at all. It goes back. They're encouraging people. It's like if we gave you $100 and said, hey, you want some more? Sure, take another more. Have 1,000, have 5,000. This is a slippery slope. And since these dangerous economists that are proposing this negative interest rate have no other way to turn, they have no new ideas. Again, none of my ideas in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, have been discussed publicly, except here. And because there's been such a suppression of truth here, we can't even put together our great plan for the country, which I believe could solve the nation's problems. Hybrid capitalism is by far the coolest thing going. Yeah, they'll give you money to take out a loan. That's how desperate they are. So hybrid capitalism is definitely yeah, here's a funny one. See, the cronies in the world that control our nation and all the ridiculous laws that our government has right now, they get around, they laugh at all this. Let's tax the air they breathe and tell them it's to save the planet, which is kind of what they're doing. I mean, we're going to talk tonight about chemtrails, weather modification that really is happening by our government, and even not by our government. People are doing it despite our government. The FAA doesn't even know when all these planes are flying above us dropping chemicals. I am not a Democrat. I'm a centrist. That's a lie. I left the Democratic Party 8 years ago. But for a short, brief time in the last election, I said I preferred them, and it was just a temporary thing to test the waters, and I found out how corrupt they are. They stole 90% of my signs in the local election here. Yeah, we're not even going to look at NASA as what it is today. NASA will be dissolved and turned into a combined agency with NOAA. We're going to be looking at a positive return on investment with NASA. I'm going to find a way we're going to make money with NASA, and they'll be paying for themselves by the time I'm done. We'll be charging for payloads, satellite deliveries using the Apollo program, even if we have to revive it. NASA Liesheim. Yeah. It does. NASA. Never a straight answer. Okay, breaking news. According to CNN and Fox, Cruz is about to withdraw from the race at 11 p.m. tonight. Wow. Major move. So it looks like it's between Trump, Hillary, and David Sponheim. And anyone who knows how to spell. So you've got 8 months to tell as many people as you can to write my name in on the ballot. Okay? You're a registered voter. Good. Hey, I'm glad you came back, Time Pilot. I was a little bit remiss in banning you because you said I look sick. I don't take criticism that well when especially when I know I look good. Yeah. I have 185 tested IQ. To say I have a low IQ is rather funny. Cruz won in Oklahoma and Texas. Well, we want to talk about things that are true tonight. I have not a stitch of evidence of alien activity. If you could show me one stitch of evidence of aliens, that would be great. I'm trying to look through my links to see if I can find any aliens. What we do know is the ocean is dying from Fukushima. This is marine life are dying from long-term exposure to Fukushima. That's more important tonight, I think, than talking about something no one has taken a picture of. And I put this out there for all of you to test that question out. There's 5.4 billion cell phones on the planet right now. Every one of them has a camera. Not one single proof of aliens. Well, let's be clear. Here's the link, everybody. Check it out. This is the topic of discussion. The endless drip coming from the reactor facility in Fukushima that's caused marine life dying, chronic exposure to radionuclides, and this is an ongoing problem that has to be addressed. Our president, Trump, and Hillary have not mentioned this at all. Not one single reference. There's Mussolini, right before they strung him up and hung him by his balls and beat him to death. Oh, you've got something there. Okay. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Bill. Yeah, look at that. The similarities between Mussolini and somebody else. Let's take a look at this. There you go. That's a well done little GIF there. That's really kind of cool. Thank you. All right, another story about glyphosate in German beer. Say it ain't so. You know, the Germans go out of their way to get perfect quality beverages. They filter water. They do things that American breweries don't use. In fact, good luck finding filtered water in beer. I don't know if it's slander. It just looks kind of funny. It's not slander to show Mussolini with a person who reads Hitler's speeches. I mean, I can see the relationship, the correlation. Trumpolini, yeah. Okay, so glyphosate in German beer. Let's take a look. As in beer made in Germany is almost a food group in and of itself. For beer connoisseurs, German brands are generally at the top of their list, but that may be about to change after new scientific evidence of several German brews found them to contain varying levels of primary ingredient Monsanto's main herbicide, Roundup. You see what's happening? The two parties and the people like Trump and Hillary, they never talk about stopping GMOs because they're part of the problem. They get endorsements from Monsanto and ADM and Dow. I will never take money from those sick corporations. In fact, we'll hold them accountable. We'll bring them into the White House for constant communication in front of cameras. We'll talk about what they're doing and how they can ethically poison the soil that we love on this planet. Okay, some people have a high IQ. Good for them. Hillary, money has to be jacked up the bleep, stuck in the veins with meth, dragged out and pimped to make more. Turned into a profit-generating prostitute. Planet X, thank you. Thanks, Planet X. Yeah. Hillary is a money machine. She's just a money machine. All she wants to do is take money. Yeah. Yep. So we've got Hillary and we've got Trump, who admires Hitler. We've got a lot of problems here. You can only imagine. This, by the way, is by design. The very same people that powered up Hitler put money in the pockets of the families of those people, put money in the pockets of the Democrats, Republicans in every election. J.P. Morgan, the family supported Hitler back in the day. Even Bush, the Bush family, were involved in Hitler money laundering. Prescott Bush, this is true. I'm not making this up. Prescott Bush, the father of George H.W. and the grandfather of George W., was the vice president director of Union Bank of New York in the 1930s and did Hitler's money laundering. Yes, 5 states with stolen ideas, and he continues to win. Those would be my states. I would have won by now. I would be the leader in both of those, all those states. Trump is taking them from me. Because I haven't had 1 second of mainstream media attention, and because our nation is living in a censored, almost fantasy land of politics, we aren't even getting good ideas to the forefront. We aren't addressing these problems like GMOs, radiation from Fukushima. We are facing an unbelievable, unparalleled mind control attempt by very powerful, wealthy, moneyed interests. And their end game, and this is going to shock you, their end game, it's not about Trump, it's not about Hillary, it's about depopulation and a new world order. Remember when Bush said, it'll be a new world order? And that was a big, huge thing he pushed in 1992, George H.W. But actually what we've got is a brave new world and a new world order and very little time left. The clock's kicking. Now you have very little time to tell your friends and family to write my name in the upcoming election, because that's the only way we're going to get these corrupt people accountable for the mistakes that they've made. They're never going to answer to the American people, ever. There is no accountability in our government. It's completely lied to. All right, let's get the Can't Stop, because we won't stop, music going so we can get some relief here. All right, take it from the top. Let's go. And we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Yeah. Can't stop. Tonight we'll talk about chemtrails. This is really happening. They are spraying chemicals in the air above us. And nobody in government's talking about it.
So let's be clear.
We've got a plan to fix the economy. They don't have a plan. We wrote a book about it. It's an old boys network. They're literally in bed together, these two parties. So let's get wild. Let's get crazy. What do you say? Propose something different to your family. What about a third party? Think about it. Okay, we had a request from the room. Don 203. I don't need to talk, Don. Yeah. Don, is this okay? Are you, Ms. Hatsuni? Do stop. Do it. Okay. Some of you are getting a little too excited. You've been living a boring life, so the last thing we want to do is give you something. Okay. When I become president, how will I expose anything so secret? Well, Dane Wigington is one of the top experts on chemtrails, and I'll be appointing him to the task of revealing all the evidence they have of weather modification. He has a website called geoengineeringwatch.org. Check it out. Trump has ordered Secret Service to remove black students from a rally. This is the work of a very dictatorial person who wants to limit free speech. And I showed you how earlier in the show, I showed you how Trump wants to make it illegal to criticize him. That's something that also evokes a dictatorial style which has never been seen in American politics. Yeah, we are seeing Trump make breakthroughs in terms of fascism that no other presidential candidate has ever broached. Now he's ordering Secret Service to remove black students from a rally. Can you believe this? He may think he's our friend.
I think we got kicked out because we're a group of black people, and like I guess people, what's going on in America, they're afraid we're gonna say something or do something, but we just really want to watch the rally, and to get kicked out because we're a group of black people is really crazy. It shows you how racist our own school is, that we can't even go to our own school complex.
We came to the rally today just to make a statement with our attire. We came in quiet. We weren't starting any trouble. We weren't saying anything. We just came in together as a group to see what the presidential candidate had to offer to not only our campus, but to the community as well as our country.
Okay, you're looking at the face of Hillary voters right there. They're going to vote for Hillary. Donald has already cut his losses. When he goes up against Hillary in the general, she will definitely beat him. Like in South Carolina, she actually took the win from Bernie Sanders over the black votes that came in there. Tonight, there's rumor that Ted Cruz will quit. I can't believe anybody would even begin to consider quitting this early in the race, and that would describe him as a quitter if he does. I'm not a quitter. I'll never quit. I'll never give up. And I can't stop because I won't stop.
First we hit them low, then we hit them high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner, piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, we can't stop.
Can't stop. Yeah.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
Okay, what makes me better than Trump? All kinds of things. Not only are well, hang on. Can't stop. What makes me better than Trump and all the other candidates is I've got a plan for America. I've got a chance to fix up houses and improve our nation's neighborhoods, improving real estate values. This is exactly what I'm planning. And solving the incredible problem with new innovations. We've seen venture capitalists buy control over the solar industry and never produce enough solar panels. So we're going to get solar panel production going too. We can't stop. We're going to do it. The American people demand it. All right. Thank you.
Lucky that you have internet in here. I don't.
Oh, really? Wow. It must have knocked out.
Yeah, so I have to reset.
We can't do it during the show, so Maybe we can do some work offline or something, like writing. All right, so this is Sarah, and she's my vice presidential choice. I'm a little bit upset right now that so many people have been bought and sold, and their votes are meaningless because they're voting for people like Trump or Hillary, not knowing that the two parties are basically behind what we have today. I would like to play it on Air Force One. Yeah, thank you. I am special. Okay, Deputy Dashcam captures a video of a drunk passenger falling head first into a creek. Wow, that's scary. Deputy Dashcam captures video of a drunk passenger. That's a scary situation when you see something like this. I don't know if I want to see somebody hit the ground with their head. Younger audiences may want to turn this off. If you're over 18 but under 25, you may want to not see this. Well, Bernie Sanders made a mistake by not running as an independent to start with. I've got the independent realm covered. He doesn't stand a chance. Let's take a look. Drunk passenger.
It just showed it already.
Oh, he just dumped in the ground? Okay. All right. Thank you. That's a good question. Now, Trump orders Secret Service to remove black students from a rally. This is exactly what a dictator would do. We have a real serious problem. Our country is drifting closer and closer to what appears to be a fascist versus a communist, with Trump versus Hillary. Our country's never been more divided. These people are dividing our nation. It breaks my heart to see this too. Yeah. I don't know. I can't find out if Ted Cruz quitting is true. It's just a rumor right now. No, we will not in any way talk about Trump tonight. Anyone talking about Trump will be purged from the show. I want supporters here. I don't want Trump supporters. Get out of this room. All of you Trump supporters, get out of this room right now. Every one of you, I want to leave. I want you all to leave. Thank you.
Bye.
You don't even understand how corrupt our two-party system is. You don't belong here. I don't want any Trump supporters in here. You Hillary supporters, you're invited though. I only say that because I know I'm going to win you over. I support a very minimal support for Israel at this point. I will give air support in the event Israel is attacked, but we will not send any ground troops into that region. I promise to attack troops from the Middle East. And I also will actually impose economic sanctions on Israel if they do not sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement. This many years ago. We know that they have nuclear weapons, yet they've never admitted it. So Trump won't address the GMO problem. Trump won't address the fluoridation in our water problem. Trump won't address even 911 as an inside job problem. Trump won't address chemtrail problem. Trump won't address any issues regarding the Fed and ending the Fed problem. Trump won't address any issues regarding radiation in the waters outside the Pacific Ocean from Fukushima problem. I mean, all the things that are missing in the talking points that you're seeing in the mainstream media are what we bring to the table every night. Okay? So you're introduced right now to ideas that you've never heard from any other candidate. Neither Trump nor Hillary will endorse recreational legalization of marijuana. No, I'm getting people to write my name in. It's already happening right now. I've got numerous people in this chat room who are going to write my name in. They are sick and tired of the corrupt two-party system. You morons who don't understand how serious this is, you're the ones we have to convince that we've got to do something about it right now. We don't have time either. Our country's in dire shape, and people who are dividers like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are going to hurt our nation. That's a fact, Jack. And I'll be right back. He's kicking students, black students, from a rally. Can you believe this? I mean, this is outrageous. All right. Sarah's going to talk for a while. I'm going to take a break.
It's a good idea.
Okay, and we've got another story from Scissor Fight. All right, I'll bring that in. Thank you. Come on. Wake up, people. You've got to understand the two parties have been bought off. If you don't get that, you don't understand why we're even running this third party. Seriously. You missed the whole point. That's right. If you're here to support Trump, you come to the wrong place. I haven't done this for the past 7 years and seen my ideas taken by Trump to win these local elections. To stand here and watch you support him in my room, when I have only one venue to communicate with the American people, that's right here, right now. I don't have any mainstream media attention. And if you think this country is free and democratic, you're far from the truth. This country is neither free nor democratic. And I'm a living proof of that fact. Right here, right now.
Absolutely. Good. So yeah. They were given Republican ballots when they were registered Democrats? Huh. Problem. Huh, that's very interesting. So they were especially on the electronic voting machines. Good night. Thank you. Yeah, I was just going to check out the news in general. Thank you very much. I'm not a big perfume fan, actually. That's good, 298. And are you still in debt for all of that? I suppose so. 348. No, I wasn't hunting with the camouflage, but yeah, I just decided to go camo today. Affirmative. Oh, yes. So much college debt when you keep doing, like, going to school. No, negative. 348, that's negative. No, I don't like patchouli. No, I don't. Rational and irrational numbers were drilled in your heads today. No, this is just a little 2-heart pendant that has green in it. That's a negative metallic mentalist. Yeah, I don't really know what it smells like, but I know it doesn't smell very good. I don't have any, no proof. So, Apple's lead attorney frames the encryption debate as a digital arms race. And he says only the U.S. is asking for privileged access. No, 348, that's a negative. Thank you, Time Pilot. There was a real run. How much did you donate? 939? That's a question. And did you donate your time to get David on the ballot? If not, it's not too late. You still can. That's a negative. 939. Yeah, well, it is difficult, especially Super Tuesday. 493. It just happens. Yes, I know. No, metallic. So in Florida, let me pull up some information for you. So in Florida, you could start a chapter of America's Third Party. I'll get it for you in one moment. Okay, you can donate. There's the link to donate. And then let's pull it, Florida. If we were affiliated with a national party holding a national convention, then, and if we got on the ballot in at least one other state than Florida, then all we needed to do was hold a national convention. So we have to work on getting on the ballot. Yes, if you're from Germany originally and you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't donate. We can also petition 1% of the registered electors of the state in Florida. I didn't buy a ponytail, I have very long hair, so I braided my ponytail today. And there you go. That's the link for the Florida election information. Merkel finally got your memo. Germany is going to close their border to immigrants or migrants. Good. You love conventions. I love tech conventions. Yeah, so we have to get on the ballot in another state and then hold a national election, which it's definitely possible. In some other states, it's not that difficult to get on the ballot. So, pretty cool. Oh, well, I guess that would be expected, Planet X. In Alabama, at least 4 people were hurt in a tornado. Wow. Wow. So astronaut Scott Kelly spent 340 days in orbit, and he's heading home back to Earth, heading back down to Earth. Yeah, you're going to hand build a wall between France and Germany? Go out there and just start laying bricks. You donated to some Scrag thing? Now you're broke? What's this Scrag thing? I don't know what that is. Strange. Oh, goodness, no. The UN Security Council is postponing a vote on North Korea resolution until tomorrow. Okay. A rights group is accusing France of brutality in a Calais eviction. More than a dozen humanitarian organizations on Tuesday accused authorities of brutally evicting migrants from their makeshift dwellings in a sprawling camp in northern France. Fiery protests of the demolitions continued. Thanks, 607. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, the Maginot Wall. I didn't remember that. No, 806. None of that. Thanks, 329. So South Dakota is trying to pass a bill that would require transgender students to use bathrooms and locker rooms that match their sex at birth. Mm-hmm. There you go. It's all about the strategy. Some kind of contract dispute happened to figure out who owns the names of Yosemite. They changed all the names in Yosemite. Okay. Delaware North, a company based in Buffalo, New York, trademarked the name Yosemite National Park and other famous brands affiliated with the park. The company is seeking $44 million for the next concessionaire to continue using them. Wow. The Owahani, a luxury hotel, is now the Majestic Yosemite Hotel. All right. Chemtrails, I know they're still spewing out the chemtrails above. No, I think that if we had peace in the world, Arctunja, then people would just stay at their own home instead of coming and being migrants everywhere else. Oh, yes, yellow hair and orange hair. Yeah. Well, they would want America to do all that, and I just say, go back home to where you came from originally. But we need to make sure that they feel safe enough to go back to their original homes. That's what I think it should be. So we should stop sending bombs overseas and start sending humanitarian aid overseas. Wheels on the bus? I don't know if I want to do that one. All right. Sanders and Cruz take 2 states each. I don't know if I want all this, but I guess I will. Here's how. I can show you how they're reporting it at New York Times, but is that really important? Not really. Yeah, I suppose that would be a good way to do it, Planet X. Yeah, they could just, exactly. Take all the migrants back to Syria. That would be good. Their rights to use a certain bathroom, 607. Is that right? Aerosol from a helicopter. That's so funny. Very hilarious. I know. I don't care if it does, though. 218. Don't like my shirt? Oh well. I don't care. Oh, okay. Oh, it's not expensive enough. Really? Am I really here to impress you? I think not. Why don't you go do that, 218? Thank you, 876. I think I should say thank you. Maybe you should go work for that skate company. You like him so much. Alright, I missed a lot, I guess. My evening briefing. Here's what I need to know at the end of the day. Oh yes, I'm totally mad. That's what it is. You got it right. Totally mad. Hello, Miku. I'm glad you figured it out. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. FBI Director James Comey told the House Judiciary Committee that the FBI had lost information on a San Bernardino terrorist's iPhone when the agency forced his iCloud password to be changed hours after the attack. He insisted the government would continue pressing Apple to help it extract any information that might remain on the phone. But they're the ones that changed the darn password. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. The Yankees' new closer was suspended for 30 games under a new domestic violence policy. He fired 8 shots into a wall of his garage after an altercation with his girlfriend.
Wow.
No charges were fired, but he's suspended for 30 games.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so Obama discussed the Supreme Court vacancy with senators, but didn't come to any decisions.
The Republicans reiterated that no Obama nominee would be given hearings, and the Democrats repeated the Republican-controlled Judiciary Committee has a constitutional duty to hold hearings. So Republicans won't do it, allow hearings for replacement.
There's been violence under, there's these 3 miles underneath I-5 in Seattle.
Oh, really?
And yeah, huge sprawling homeless encampment. I forgot what it's called, but
Because the violence has erupted in the tent city there.
yes.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen.
They said Seattle's mayor said the city cannot replace the federal funding that's dried up for low-income housing or state funds for mental health and addiction treatment.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I believe we need to have a tent city in Seattle, one in San Francisco, and one in Los Angeles. And then possibly one in Detroit, in Cincinnati, Toledo, Chicago, maybe 3 in Chicago. One in New York City. We're going to need a tent city in Washington, D.C., right near the White House, so people can camp out and eat at the buffet at the White House. That'd be great.
That would be good.
I've even said that I will give 25% of my salary to local food banks in Washington, D.C., to make sure everybody around the Capitol will be well fed. People will flock for miles just to be there.
This is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. I'm going to add this little screen region. Just a sec.
Has Ted decided he didn't want to run anymore? Is he giving up? Because I don't even want to hear about the quitters. It makes me sad to see people quit.
So, 8 Ivy League schools are banning traditional tackles during their practices, at least, in order to combat concussions.
Good idea.
So instead, people are practicing tackling these specially designed mobile virtual players like this that can maneuver like a player.
You know, Rock'em Sock'em robots. I remember those.
That's basically it. But
They were funny.
hopefully that will help stem all these concussions that happen during football.
Can I momentarily interrupt? You know, with football, there was a guy many years ago that proposed inflatable outfits, and the football associations, NFC, AFC, said, no, we won't take your inflatables. They claimed that it looked like the Michelin Man when the guys were out there. It shows you how much the corporate side of businesses like football have taken over the rights of the individuals playing it. They're exploiting young men. You know, the average lifespan of a football player is like 53 years old because of all the concussions they get. So it makes me sick to see people exploited. It really burns my hide. Yeah. Rubio is winning in Minnesota. Interesting. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm good. Go, you go, Marco. Yeah, I want to see you push popular Trump out of position. You know, he's pulling states that traditionally have always leaned right. You know, and I think the centrists are going to win this election. I really do. And there's not a centrist out there running, ironically. Rubio's not a centrist. There's not one centrist running this race. It's amazing. And that shows you where the big void in American politics is, right in the center of the political spectrum. I'm a fiscal conservative and a social liberal in one person. So I care both about the tent city problems, but I don't want to finance it with your tax dollars. We've got novel ideas that we can actually implement to fix this nation's problems. And we actually wrote a book about it, which you can download right now, anytime you want, for 99 cents. Yeah, it's a pretty cool book we wrote, Sarah and I did, back in 2012. It's very applicable to what's happening today. It's called Hybrid Capitalism. Hybrid Animation. It's called Hybrid Capitalism, and let me just show. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's all about getting a return on investment and getting our government to run efficiently. Now, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton do not have these ideas that we have. We have a way of getting a return on investment so that the government doesn't have to charge you a lot of taxes. Big difference. Hybrid banana. That's right. Ms. Hassouni likes bananas. Mm. Anyways, what were you saying about...
Nothing.
Anything? Okay.
I wasn't saying anything.
But yeah, too many pixels. Let me pull it down. Hang on. Many of you are having video lag problems. You might want to consider going to AmericasThirdParty.com. This logo down here. We actually have a live video feed from another source and the Vaughn chat room. So if you ever run into a Vaughn chat room issue where the video feed's kind of pixelated because it's been lowered, the bandwidth is lowered so far that you can barely see the image. Hello, anybody out there? Hitler will have a powerful country. Oh, really? Bristling with guns and weapons, capable of putting everyone in their place, capable of invading countries on a whim, of unleashing chaos and violence gratuitously, of violating a leader's body orifices with sharp objects with impunity. Sounds like a little fantasy there, Planet X, on your part, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting. David, I can't help you. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you any advice on how do you deal with nausea or diarrhea or whatever problems you're facing. Yeah, so there's a homeless situation going on down there in Seattle. Bristles. Good. As president, I will work with you to turn the tide of populism, to make these currents of change unfeasible, impossible. I don't understand the wording there, Planet X. Check your liver immediately. Meow TV, are you a doctor? You have like 6 PhDs, right, in felinology? I know. Many of you are kind of like in a state of shock right now because you don't understand how dumb the American people have become, that they're going to look to a person who's a right-wing extremist or a person who's a left-wing extreme left-winger like Hillary to the future of our nation, leaving it in yet another corner of the political spectrum. When most of us just want to find somebody in between that has the same ideas that Trump has been borrowing from me and a more liberal approach toward solving social problems as well as the environment. And I will not cut out African Americans from the dialogue. In fact, I've even talked about meeting with the Black Caucus once a month on issues affecting the cities of America. Count on it. Anything else? Any other questions? Many of you are still in a state of shock? Okay. No, this is not a comedy show. This is the last vestige of American democracy, holding on by a thin thread. Most of democracy has been suppressed by the mainstream media, and very powerful moneyed interests have bought access where we cannot buy access. You've seen a completely controlled society run with almost perfection by a very, very rich group of elitists. They manufacture the talking points that 35 bobble-headed journalists say every day as they bounce around reciting the same things. Sarah, you were listening to a news show where they had like 50 people saying the same thing every day, right out of the AP. And does that shock you that people have different...
Yeah, it does a little bit.
It was kind of shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the conversation. That was great.
I'm sorry.
No, at least we had one sentence we could exchange.
I don't know.
No, that's okay.
I'm not a good conversationalist, maybe?
No, you've had a lot of things on your mind today, and I think you should take it off and enjoy. You can't just sit here and talk about politics all night. That's what I do.
You can.
I know.
You're good at that.
But I'm not really talking about politics. I'm talking about the scrim of politics, what they release for us. That's what they want. They literally give us talking points that only we can understand, something that average people can understand. And then we have to think deeper to understand why they're giving us these talking points, like fearing all these false flags that have occurred, all these shootings, these alleged shootings like the San Bernardino shooting. There was a witness there that said there were 3 shooters, male, tall, wearing black, with duffel bags. Yeah. And the 2 people they apprehended and killed, and again, in almost every one of these instances, they kill the witnesses, whoever they are. There's one common theme among all these false flags, is there's not one single living witness. Are they still looking for that guy who claimed they got away in the Paris shooting? The one guy that looked at the camera weird and walked away? It's boring because you're boring. Your head is up your ass, dude. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to get even more abusive in a few minutes. Yep. Just get ready. I'm not a happy camper tonight watching our country being controlled still by the two-party system dominated by the elitists. It pisses me off. The Democratic voters in Georgia are given Republican ballots on Super Tuesday. Look at that. Whoa. Quick watch. He's sucking ass is what he's doing.
In Georgia, people are worried about voting
bunch of kiss asses
after
here.
being erroneously given Republican ballots when they were registered Democrats.
Wow.
Fleener, a Lowndes County voter, said she was upset and unsure of whether her vote in the Democratic primary was counted, even though poll workers said the problem had been fixed. Election Supervisor Deb Cox blamed the problem on voter error, a claim that Fleener disputes. We were then given sheets that explicitly read, "to find out if your vote counted," Fleener told Valdosta Today. An Austin radio station Tuesday was flooded with callers complaining their votes for candidate Donald Trump were changed to rival Marco Rubio.
Why does it not shock me that they're going to rig the elections? It does not shock me at all that they're going to do this, right? Again, I rest my case. All right, so apparently the green isn't working for you. I'm going to change colors to yellow. Yeah, because the green isn't exciting you. Would you prefer fuchsia? Maroon? Cobalt? Cobalt blue. I always like cobalt blue. It's solid. I'm very angry, very bitter today. I'm not going to hide my passion for what I'm doing. Trump is winning because a majority of Americans have low IQs. He's also winning because you didn't get your act together and promote me over the past 6 years. I'm not a shill. If I was a shill, I'd be in the mainstream media, you idiot. If I was a shill, you'd hear about me all over the news right now. Thank you. It's not about winning a delegate. We've got a completely controlled two-party system. If you can't understand that, you're a moron. You should be leaving the room any minute now. This is piss time, yeah. We're only allowing people who understand what we're talking about, not you morons who still vote for Trump or Hillary. No, I'm not a violent man. I've never been violent. I did hit my cousin, though, in the face back when I was 7 years old. I feel bad about it. Poor Sarah can't watch your shows because we have a broadcast issue going on. Yeah, stealing ideas and winning 10 states, exactly. Would you like to turn the show off for a little bit, Sarah? I'm willing to do it. We will be dropping off our YouTube channel, though, which is halfway through the show, 1.5 hours, and we can do another one back to back. Well, believe me, I would definitely have you be a mod, because I could see going back to the old days of Blog TV. In fact, we will be going back to the old days of Blog TV. They're coming up with a new blogtv.ca site, which looks really promising. They're at 60% now. They've got a team of technologists working on bringing something back. What show are you talking about? Trump doesn't know how to build a wall. He took my fence idea and turned it into a wall. I don't know why. I'm not turning red. Your eyes are colorblind. The rods in your eyes are altered because of the fluoride in your system. I would never hit a woman, ever. That's a lie. I am the truth. It's not about knowing the truth. I embody the truth. I am the light. I am the way. I'm not kidding either. I've got the answers to America's problems. Trump doesn't have any specifics. Trump is going to make an enlarged police state. Obama did this. Trump will make it even larger. Trump wants to push for an agenda of military takeover of UN authority over our country. Has he ever addressed the UN problem? Not once has he talked about the UN invading our country. I talk about that every night. I talk about pulling the UN off of our Army documents because there's no reason why we'd allow the UN to come into our country and take over. The United Nations troops should not be dealing with first world nation problems. Our problems are specific to our generation. And the fact that we have such a massive technological built society means that they couldn't possibly be beneficial in our country. So why would Hillary or Donald want the UN to take over our nation? Why would they allow them in our documents? Why would our country continue to give in to the Federal Reserve? Donald Trump and Hillary, they don't want to stop the Fed. I want to end the Fed by the end of 2017. And you Ron Paul people know that's exactly what you want too, and I'm with you. Forget auditing the Fed. We know for a fact that they're corrupt. We know for a fact that they haven't had any oversight by our government whatsoever other than the Government Accounting Office handling transaction fees for their local operations. That's all we can see. We can't see any of their foreign investments. We don't know where their money ties are connected. Good for you, though. By picking a man who definitely represents the American people, you will have the ability to have oversight over the existing Exchange Stabilization Fund, which is at the center of the Treasury, where all that money is handled. So when I become president, it's actually better than auditing the Fed. We'll be able to see almost everything the Fed's doing from the backside. As president, I'll be able to reduce the police state that we have currently in this country. Yeah. And I want to reiterate that we will also create an infrastructure of American jobs. because I'm not afraid to say the government is responsible for creating jobs. Trump won't say that. I'm going to go ahead and end this segment of the show, but we're going to go offline for just a few minutes, and then we'll be back up and running with a second follow-up recorded broadcast for YouTube. We have a little server issue we have to reset. It's bottlenecking, so a lot of that energy kind of goes into a cable, so we're going to shut down for just a second so Sarah can watch some shows tonight because she needs to enjoy herself. All right. I'll be right back, everybody.